October Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.
Make sure that mic should be on. Yep, should be on. We are all good and ready to go. I'm so happy to be sat here with someone who I class as a friend in the industry. The man who set the way for me. I always have to set pace in our conversations, and I'm going to introduce and give Max Mccracken his flowers and the introduction that he deserves. A very, very long time ago now, it's about 4 or 5 years ago.
That's right, yeah.
I approached Solomon and says, can I come in the gym? You know, getting involved in boxing. Can I interview you? Can I meet your coach? He said, yes. I met Max. Max was impressed by the way that I asked questions, showed a little bit of knowledge at that time, and he opened the doorway for me, introduced me to Wasserman, introduced me to Matchroom, and it's because of him now I get accredited to go to these events. So without further ado, I've got to introduce, and I will say you are the one and only, Max Mccracken. It's a Brommy thing, but welcome back to the channel, Max.
Thanks, Abby. Nice to have you back here. And it's good to see where you've got to from them days. You've worked hard and put yourself around a lot, and you know everyone respects you in the boxing. It's good.
And I've created a few enemies, so that's even better as well. I like that.
You can't all be friends all the time, can it? You're gonna have some enemies.
I love that. Max, there's so much to unpack with you, and I've been doing a little bit of... I'm going to speak to you about your guys in a bit. But Max, I need to... Right, you pick one first, Joshua Buatsi or Anthony Joshua, because those are the two that I want to talk about to start this off with. So I'm going to...
Go Joshua Buatsi.
Okay. Joshua Buatsi had a fight last weekend. I was there. Didn't like the fight at all. Obviously, I made my point clear. He did as well. He got the W. You know Joshua Buatsi of old. Let us know how you know Joshua Buatsi, and then give us your thoughts on that fight.
Yeah, I know him from GB from 10 years ago. He's a real nice man, Joshua Buatsi. Really dedicated, you know, a real good role model for boxing. But he seems to have, I don't know if he slowed down or he just didn't perform the other night, did he? I think that the fight was all set for him to look good, but he just didn't perform. I don't know what it was. He was sort of one-paced. He never cut the ring off properly. You know, he never let his hands go enough. He never went through his gears. So I'm not sure what the problem is with him. Whether he's just slowed down naturally or he needs to make some adjustments. I'm not sure.
When you knew him from GB, obviously he went on to win. I think was it a bronze?
He got bronze at the Olympics, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a bronze medalist at. Was he light heavyweight? He did. Yeah, and he campaigned and came. So sometimes in the pro they mess around. They go up a weight or they go down a weight, don't they? So he was trained by your brother?
Yeah, in the early days, yeah.
So what happened when he turned pro? Was he trained by Rob then as well?
He was with Rob up at Sheffield, wasn't he? He was doing well. He was looking good. And I don't know what really went on. I wasn't up there. Very rare I go up. We up there for sparring sometimes. But I don't know, he moved to Virgil Hills, didn't he?
Virgil Hunter.
Virgil Hunter, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure how it's going, really. You know, he's had a couple of good fights, hasn't he? And then he fought Callum Smith. Callum Smith's a good fighter, tough fighter. So you just got to see where he is now from that. I mean, on that performance, it wasn't great, was it?
Nah, but you know him of old. What was he like when he was on GB? I know they say, you can't compare the amateurs to the pros, but what was he like as a younger fighter? Because people have said to me that the killer in him, because he was a killer apparently, has been tamed. That's what people have said to me.
Yeah, he was strong. He was physically fit. He was, you know, robust. You know, he could punch. In the amateurs, he was scoring a lot of knockouts and dropping them, which is quite rare at the level he was at. So, like, you looked at him and you thought he's going to be like a future world champion. It just hasn't materialised. I'm not sure what it is, but he obviously needs to, you know, go through his gears more and, you know, push himself a little bit more. You know, the fight will just, when you get with these good fighters, they've got movement and all that. The rounds will just pass you by, and at the end of it, you know, you're behind.
What is it then that you think that obviously he's good as an amateur, he's a medalist? He comes into the pros and he's stopping people in the pros as well. He's doing it early, and that's when I first saw him. I was like, "Who is this?"
Yeah.
I nicknamed him the surgeon because he was clinical, because he was accurate. He never
Yeah.
wasted a shot.
Yeah.
He might have been patient, but he'd go hunting for you. Even now, thinking about it, I get excited about him fighting.
Well, he was when he first turned pro. Everyone was talking about him. wasn't
Yeah.
they? But I'm not sure. I think sometimes he looks for the perfect shot, and he's a little bit overcautious. He needs a bit more urgency in his work, doesn't he?
How do you still keep that same kind of fighter and carry that through your career? Like you said, he might have slowed down naturally, but he's still really young. He's only 32.
32, yeah. But I mean, all fighters are different, aren't they? At the stage of the career, you know. I don't know what the problem is with him really, but he just needs to. He needs to switch things up. He needs to have a lot more urgency in his work when he's in the ring, you know, and show everyone what he can do. You know, let his hands go. You know, he needs to cut the ring off better. You know, he's plodding around. He's like sort of one pace. His feet are a little bit too slow. You know, he's just got to work on stuff like that, hasn't he? And like punch output, and go through his gears. He's got the strength. He's got the power. He needs to use it.
How do you cut? Now, me, I'm not a fighter. How do you cut the ring off? When you talk about cutting the ring off, what does it mean to you? And use the Parker fight as an example. How did he nullify someone's work like that? Because that's what I was expecting him to do, and he didn't.
It's just basic stuff, isn't it? You know, they go left, you go right. You keep your presence in front of them. You know, quick feet. You quicken your feet up. You know, don't punch from when you're out of range. You know, close the distance and let your hands go. You know, head movement on the way in. Do you know what I mean? Don't run into punches. It's quite basic stuff. He should know it, really. He should be doing it, you know. It's a bit of a puzzle, really, why he's not doing it.
Would you say that he's gone backwards then, compared to how he was? And like I said, you know him of old. You've been up there. Obviously, your brother coached him as well, so...
Well, on that fight, you got to look at him and, you know, how much do you want it?
How much do you want it?
Do you know how much do you want it? You ask yourself the question. If you don't, it's time to get out, because if you don't want it in this game, you're going to run into trouble.
It's interesting that you say that. Look, the fight that he had with Callum Smith was probably one of the most entertaining fights I'd watched in a long time. That fight deserved a standing ovation. That's when he really came out of himself. So we set the bar high then, because that's what we know as his peak. Don't get me wrong, he didn't get the nod, but was that...
You know, he came back in that fight, didn't he?
Of course he did.
Took some heavy shots. Callum Smith's a big puncher. He took some heavy shots. He took them. He come back. He fired back. You know, he was in the fight. I don't know, it took something out of him, I'm not sure.
How does that happen? Well, how does that happen? Because a couple of people that have spoke about that fight said maybe he's carrying something with that loss. I haven't spoke to Josh in detail about the loss. Hopefully I will do. But when you say it takes something out of you, like what?
You know, tough fights like that, they can take a little bit out of the fighter. They can take a little bit of desire out of them, you know. Maybe he's felt a lot of heavy shots in there. I'm not sure, and it's haunting him a little bit. I'm not sure. But he's a rugged kid. Buatsi is, you know, he's just got to get back on track.
Do you think he can?
I think he can, yeah. Like you say, he's young enough. He's got the talent. He's got the punch power. He's got the toughness. He's got the durability. He just needs a bit more urgency in his work. You know, control the pace the fight, but push yourself as well. Push the pace at times. You know, he's happy in that. You know, just staying at the one pace, isn't he? But I just think that, you know, that was all geared up for him for a good performance, and it sort of fell flat, didn't it?
It definitely did, because then we had like the Lyndon Arthur fight with Brad Ray, and how that was a solid, entertaining to and fro. Lyndon down,
fighters,
yeah.
Brad Ray, I think he's come up from middle. He was a middleweight, wasn't he?
Yes, he was super middle.
So
yeah,
he's done well. He's he's fighting out of his weight class. You know, he's gone up to light heavy, and he's dropping light heavies, and that which surprised me, because Lyndon Arthur's a really good. He's got a great jab, great right hand. So he done well early, but then I think the experience kicked in. Lyndon Arthur, he'd seen it all before, and he sort of second half of the fight he took over, didn't he?
Yeah, that is so important, and it's good that you point that out. But with Lyndon, I spoke to Lyndon because sort of like what is happening with Josh. Lyndon, I said to him, if you felt like you've lost your way a little bit, you didn't seem to be pushing yourself, you should have been a lot further than you were, etc., etc. And he goes, now this is a different me. That's why I know I've got a couple of years left. I've pulled up my socks. I've got on top of my nutrition, and you're going to see a different fighter. And my God, We did.
Yeah, he has. He's got
There
the
was
hunger.
urgency.
He's got the hunger back, hasn't he? I mean, he's got a great trainer. Pat Barrett's a great trainer. He was a great fighter. I remember Pat Barrett in the 80s. And, he couldn't have a better man in the corner with him. So, he'd be telling him what's on the line here, And I suppose he's listened and he's got on it properly, hasn't he? He's come back well.
Troy Jones, the Brummie, went up against. Did you not see it?
I've seen a couple of rounds.
It was all right.
Around.
It was a to and fro fight. You could say it was arguably 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. It was a good fight. I think Liam started to come on later on in the fight. There's all sorts saying who the fought won. I don't tend to judge fights because I can't. But that once again was a really entertaining fight as well.
I met him, Troy Jones. He's been here.
Oh, has he?
A couple of times.
Nice kid.
He come with someone sparring. He wasn't sparring himself. I was having a chat with him. You can see he's a game kid. He'll fight anyone. He said I'll fight anyone. You could see that. And I think he's only going to improve and get better. Same there again. He's got a good coach, Lee Beard. Lee Beard's a good coach. So I think he's young. How old is he, Troy Jones? 26, 27?
Yeah, he's in his 20s. So he's just got married as well.
He'll come again and he deserves to be in these big fights. I've heard he was unlucky. I haven't watched the whole fight, but he's a good kid. He's a game kid.
Solid kid.
Very brave.
Yeah, 100%.
He'll jump. You know what? He'll jump in with anyone and he'll give a good account of himself.
And he doesn't stop.
Yeah, I think he can win titles in the future. All he'll do is learn from these fights he's had. What was the other kid? The kid he had from Nottingham.
It was Ezra Taylor.
Fought him as well,
Yeah, he
didn't he?
did. Yeah,
So
got stuck in.
He'll take loads from them fights. He's probably kickstarting his career. This.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
a shame if he thought he should have got the decision. But he'll come back definitely.
Yeah, he definitely will. But credit to Liam Cameron as well, who obviously got the win, controversially or not. It's not going to be a fight night if there's not controversy on the card, though, is there?
Liam Cameron's got a good big story, hasn't he? What he's been through and that, and come back. So it's brilliant. It just shows to other kids, no matter where they are, you can turn it around. He's a prime example, isn't he, Liam Cameron? He's got good management teams with good.
Yes, he has.
So he's
shout out to Lee Eaton.
Yeah, Lee Eaton. He's a good manager. He'll keep him in the big fights, which is good. And he's a character, isn't he, Liam Cameron?
Yeah, definitely. Quite funny, quite dry. Typical northern sense of humour. When you get past Watford, people start to have a little bit of a better sense of humour. Sorry, me being biased again. We've got to talk about Anthony Joshua, a fighter that your brother trained. Like I said, once again, you've been in several corners of Anthony Joshua, and more recently, I think it was, I don't know, maybe it was a couple of months ago, Max. I saw that he wasn't training in Ben Davison's gym, but it says something about in camp or training.
Yeah.
And I thought, nah, that's not the gym. So I saw Frank Smith from Matchroom, and I says, oi, is he still training with Ben Davison? And Frank Smith sort of like gave a political answer, didn't answer it.
Yeah.
And I thought, something's up here. And then we've had recent news that he's going into potentially Team Music now. And I did a video on it. I did a whole review on it, his career and everything. But I want you know him. You know him better than all of us.
I know him in the early days when he was coming through and he was winning world titles and all that. And he had that bit of fearlessness about him. He had that determination about him. And he was a little bit raw and, he'd just stamp his authority on the fight, and the fights, let his hands go, I just think he's maybe lost. He's probably overthinking things a little bit too much, and he's had a couple of tough fights, hasn't he? You don't know what he's got left. Is he a little bit gun shy? I don't know, which is understandable. They're all human, aren't they? There's only so many shots they can take, and the trauma they go through with it. So you don't know, but he's definitely got the ability, Anthony Joshua has. He's got the punch power. I think it's up to him, but I don't know, what his situation is now at the minute, but we'll see. He's got fights left in him. He's what desire he's got left.
What about him? Because one of the things, listen, if I personally, Max, if you got to change trainer, and it's glaringly obvious, and I've said that to Joshua Buatsi, I don't think it's suited.
Yeah.
I said to him, go back to who you was with before, because he asked me the question, who should I train with? I said, whoever you was with before, because that was the front foot, aggression, offensive fighter. But Anthony Joshua's changed a lot of trainers. He had Rob Mccracken, Joby Clayton, Angel Fernandez, Robert Garcia, Derek James, Ben Davison, and now we're getting Usyk. I mean, how many people can you go through?
It's like a merry-go-round, isn't it? Trainers, I don't know. Maybe he's he thinks he's looking for a magic wand. You know, a lot of it's like it's within yourself. You've got to, you know, you've got to have that mindset and that determination. You know, how much do you want it? You know, how much is your heart in it? If your heart's not fully in it, get out of it, because it's too, especially in the heavyweight division. But I don't know what the answer is with Anthony Joshua. I think he's looking for something that's maybe not there. He just needs to knuckle down himself. You know, just fight with determination and pride and desire. You know,
Determination, pride, and desire. You can say this because you're not just a coach. You've boxed yourself as well,
Yeah.
so you understand it. What makes a fighter like lose their way, like with him, like potentially, like you mentioned it with Joshua Buatsi, potentially overthinking? How do you get into that mindset where you start to literally, you almost like you're doubting everything that you're doing?
they just overthink, don't they? They've been in situations, things have happened, and they're maybe they're having flashbacks or
Okay, is that severe, Max?
A little bit nervous. Will this happen again? Will that? You know, will that? How will I feel if I get hit with that shot? Do you know what I mean? How will I get over it? You know, but I'll probably overthink it. And when you're like that, it's time. I think it's just time to get out, because you know, not only that, mentally you're not there. You know, if you're not there mentally and your whole heart's in it, it's a dangerous game.
So as like us fans, and we are quite critical. We sit at home, we watch the fights, we don't get involved, we're not sparring, we're not fighting, but we've got a lot to say. What would you say to fans that are like very, very easy to critique people? Because I believe the fans had a heavy input in him leaving Rob Mccracken in the first place. Whether it's your brother or not, that's aside. I'm just saying that us fans, we can really influence what fighters do, because they say they don't listen, but they do.
It's just social media, isn't it? Everyone can have an opinion now, and that they're seeing things, aren't they? That you've got YouTube, you've got, you know, they can see in gyms, they can see everything what's going on.
Yeah, you're right.
And they people get into their ears and they listen to the wrong people, and you know, it takes them off the path that they're on. Sometimes you're going to have ups and downs, you know, but if you stay consistent, believe in yourself, you'll get there. If you've got the ability, you'll get there. It's just a matter of time. If you're with the right people, you know, if you get with it, you got good promoters, you're going to get these opportunities, and you can prove yourself.
And that's what we want to hear. Hopefully, you know, he finds what he's looking for. But I've said it's not outside of him. He's got to go and have a look in the mirror.
That's right.
And have that serious conversation.
Only he knows what's going on in there. I mean, he's made an absolute fortune, hasn't he? From where he come from.
Yeah.
He's worked for it. He's worked for it. And he's took the shots, you know, over the years. And you know, one thing about him is he's trained hard. He's give his life to boxing. He's a lovely kid as well, Anthony Joshua. So I wish him the best. But if his heart's not in it, I'd rather see him get out of it. I mean, I've heard he's at the gone to USIC camp.
Yeah.
Is he? I don't know if that's going to work for him. I don't know. You know, it's like just knuckle down. Just get in a good gym somewhere and just work hard, and let's see what you got left.
I'd like to see Anthony Joshua and Joshua Buatsi go back to Rob. That's what I'd like to see in an ideal world. I'm not saying that it would happen, but that's what I'd like to see, because they were.
Maybe that ship sailed. You know, I'm not sure. Rob's busy himself.
I know he's got fighters, but when you look at the style, that front foot aggression combinations, I don't know how he got into their head, but he made them like these.
They were aggressive
animals,
front foot fighters, and they were taking people out. And if they wasn't, they were breaking them down. They were hurting them. You know. But like, things change, things move on, don't they? So let's just see where they are in the next couple of fights.
Yeah, definitely. One set pause.
So is that pause now?
Yeah, no, it's back on.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got to speak to you, and congratulations as well to Solomon, who won over Serenko, a fight that everyone was looking at the paper, thinking Southpaw, Ukrainian.
No,
Well, you know,
he was Orthodox.
but yeah, sorry. I keep on saying that. I don't know why I was thinking he's Southpaw. You know what? It's the Ukrainians. Yeah. Looking at him on paper and saying, yeah, he ain't going to do that. Because they looked at the David Adelaide loss and just lost all belief in it.
That David Adelaide fight, he just got really lucky. He just caught him top of the head. Like, it's just like, it's one of them where you never think it's going to happen. It's like an absolute disaster. But I knew
it was a disaster.
Out of him. I says to Sol, look, this hasn't took anything out of you. It's not as though you were getting outboxed. You wasn't taking any punishment. You know, you wasn't tired and questioning yourself in the fight. It's just like one freak shot. But there's just, you know, just get back on the horse and get going. It's took absolutely nothing out of you. Just keep
Well-
believing in yourself, which he did.
Yeah.
And yeah, on the paper that Serenko's record was daunting, but when I had a good look at him and that, and I know what Sol's capable of. He's a talent. And you know, I knew that at his best he'd do a job on him, which he did. I thought he was made for him.
Well, it definitely was. I'd say that was perfect
Although he was
matchmaking.
heavy-handed, he could punch. Sol's, you know,
He's
cute.
rugged though, isn't he?
But he's cuter than you think as well. He can ride shots. He can take the sting out of shots. Do you know what I mean? He can make them fall short. And I just thought that, you know, he'd walk onto everything. Just use a bit of movement. Walk on the inside. Just be cute on the inside. Get off first. Coming out the clinches. Be smart. You know. Be switched on. And he'd done a good job. But you know, it wasn't easy for him mentally going in with someone like that. Obviously, he's going to be thinking himself after the last one. But like he just showed everyone, didn't he? Just proved to everyone what a talent he is. Yeah.
And it was quite funny to see in a good way, because it was almost like a lot of people were like shocked.
See, I'm in the gym with him day in, day out. I know how big his heart is. I know what his desire is. I know what his skill set is. I know his boxing IQ. He's an intelligent kid. Out the ring, he's an intelligent kid. He talks well. He looks well. You know, I knew that he'd be in control of that fight if he was, you know, totally switched on and ready for the fight, which he was, because he'd been in the gym for months and months, sparring each week, just in case we got that call. So it was 3.5 weeks, short notice, but he was ready. I knew he was ready. So yeah, he's back in the picture now, isn't he?
Well, definitely back in the picture, because Lee Eaton went out to the convention, see the WBO convention, and got his name mentioned to be pushed up into the world rankings because of obviously...
Yeah, it was a bit strange that, because I think he was 14 in the WBO, Serenko. And I checked the rankings, they're out each month, I think
Yeah.
20th or something each month. And he just wasn't in. But I heard that Lee had gone over there.
Yes.
Adam Morley was saying, and pushing for Sol, shouting for Sol. So
Yeah, he
fair
did.
play to Lee Eaton. So I think next month he should be in the world's top 15. I mean, he might even be in the top 10.
Imagine that.
To come back from the Adelaide,
Yeah.
back in, he's really elevated himself up, hasn't he? So,
Yeah.
So it's good. You know, he's just got to just get ready now after this bicep injury. Still rehabbing, he can't hook with it yet, but the jab's getting stronger with it. So I think he should be ready around February.
Yeah, that'll be good, because obviously we've got a few fights piling up at this side of the year. To see him back out will be a good thing. I'd like to see the rematch with David Adelaide, but as Solomon quite rightly pointed out, yes, that's definitely something he feels like he wants to rectify. But it seems like they're sort of on different paths again now, and that they probably won't collide just yet.
Well, see, Adelaide, he's in big, even though he's come off a loss.
He had the Hergovic. He's got
He shook up Ergovic, and he can punch Adelaide. So he's in decent fights. I think he's fighting in Nigeria, or is it, or Ghana?
Yeah, if it's still
them,
going
isn't
on,
it?
I don't know what's happening with that.
You know, we've had a couple of offers for Sol
Oh, have you?
from Queensbury, yeah, but
Nice.
he wasn't ready. He wouldn't know, would he be ready, which is a shame. But so, like I said, we will be looking to be, you know, hopefully he'll be ready. He should be sparring around Christmas time, and then so I think February onwards he'll be ready. Once we get an offer.
But that's positive, though, because the fact that obviously he's come off the loss, he went back in and put on a lovely boxing clinic against Serenko, who nobody thought he was going to beat. The bookies' odds were insane. Yeah. Fair enough, he's got the injury, so that's like, he's got there, now he's injured, so he's out for a bit. However, they've mentioned him in trying to get him in world rankings. Queensbury's been on the blower saying, oi, do you want to have these fights? It's positive, right?
It's good, because I think they've seen Queensbury. They knew that could happen to anyone. With that, he's been great. Frank Warren, Lee Eaton, and that. I must say that they've been great with Sol. Even at the workout, Frank Warren came up to Son and said, "Look, you can win this." You know, and he believed it. And he was backing him.
He's really personable, isn't he?
I thought that was nice of Frank Warren.
See,
you know, he said you can win this, Sol, which was good. And so they know that the Adelaide one was just like. It was bad luck, real bad luck. It happens now and again, doesn't it? Them sort of fights. Someone gets caught on the top of the head in the first round.
Yeah.
You can't, you know, it's just like bad luck, isn't it? So they've seen that, and then they've seen that he's come back and he's fought someone with 22 wins, 19 knockouts.
Yeah.
And that Serenko was a class amateur as well. He boxed for
was
Ukraine.
he?
He had 125 wins as an amateur.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't look at his
he
amateur
had the
record.
pedigree as well. You know, they know their stuff. They'll be looking inside out of his amateur record and everything at Queensbury. So they've seen that and thought this kid's definitely a talent. So, you know, we'll just wait now once we get Christmas out of the way, and then we're looking towards dates.
Yeah, that's really positive. I've got to ask, and it's good to see Matty Harris is back out as well, out in Brighton and fighting Franklin Ignatius. Matty Harris has had a little bit of a stop-start career. He's sort of disappeared off the social media, as it were, so we don't really hear as much from him as we used to.
Yeah, he needs to be more active on that social media, doesn't he? But we'll see. But maybe he can do his talking in the ring this time. But I think it's a good fight, Franklin Ignatius. It's like a natural progression. He knows, Matt, that he's got to be switched on, because Ignatius will come and he won't fear him. He'll come and he'll put it on him. But we'll see. Matt's going to be ready. He's working with Peter Fury. Peter Fury's a great coach, and he's great. Not only boxing, he speaks to Matt as well outside the ring. You know, obviously his dad matures him, Matt's dad, but Peter does as well. You can see he's maturing with Peter as well, with the chats he has with him and that. So he'll be more than ready. Peter will have him in great shape, and he'll be ready for this fight. And I think it'll be a real convincing win.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think he'll really put himself in the picture in this fight, Matt will.
I can't not speak about the raving lunatic that is what did Solomon gave him a nickname? He called him something like the Yardley Train or something. I don't know. Matt Williams.
Yeah, he's
I
flying,
mean, he's flying, isn't he, at the amateurs?
And everything, hasn't he? He's won 2 NABCs, senior ABA champion, Tri-Nations. He's just won the Tama tournament.
And that was in Finland, wasn't it?
Finland, yeah. He's beaten that Adam Malonio, the Irish kid, world youth champion. He's just getting better. He's just improving all the time. He's really hungry. He's dedicated. He's a real talent. I think he's a special talent, young Matt. He was 21 last week. So it's frightening, the potential he's got.
He just doesn't. The thing is with him, you know, when you talk about somebody that's fearless, I've watched him spar copious amount of times in here. He literally doesn't care. He just keeps on coming forward. He doesn't care what you've got throwing at him. But what I will say is he's starting to learn how to slip what's coming at him, so he can get inside and get his shots off better, which is an improvement down to your coaching.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen the difference, Max.
Yeah. Well, we drill every day. We work every day, don't we?
Yeah.
When he's here. I mean, he's on GB now. But when he's with me, we're always working on stuff. And he's coming on, he's improving. And he's a lot cleverer than you think. You know, you see a lot, he doesn't get hit that much.
But
And, you know, he's a real high volume pressure fighter.
High volume.
But he's going to be like, he's got a great future, he has. Great future. Birmingham are getting behind him now. Birmingham City Football Club.
Good.
A lot of them, he's getting a lot of messages from them.
Brilliant.
So I think when he finally does turn pro, he's working to these Olympics, but he's going to have a real big following. I mean, you know, on Facebook and my social medias, they're always asking about him. You know, getting messages from all over the place about him. So yeah, he's got a real good future, Matt. A real nice kid as well.
He is. He's lovely. Absolutely lovely. I know that he's sparred the likes of, you know, Moses Atama as well. I think he's been down there a couple of times.
He spars them all, doesn't he? He spars Sol, Regular, Yuri Fury, Fraser Clark, Matty Harris.
He's not been afraid to mix it up.
Moses, he's been down a couple of times in Moses tournament. They had him down once and they asked for him again.
Yeah.
So it just shows, you know, he's giving them good rounds. Like we say, it's frightening. He's only a kid, isn't he?
I know.
21.
I know. I'm looking forward to see when it's his turn to turn over pro. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Like in the Tama last week, he beat the Australians #1, like unanimous, convincingly, you know. So it just shows he's developing into a world-class amateur.
World-class amateur. And how are you going to convert that so he becomes a world-class pro? So many times, Max, you get these really good amateurs, but they don't quite make that smooth transition into the pro game. They were fantastic as amateurs, but not really that good as pros. How are you going to make sure he keeps that momentum when he does turn over, Max?
See, before he got on GB and that, he was training like a pro in here. He'd do like 10 rounds, no problem. And his engine is phenomenal. For a super heavyweight, it's phenomenal. And he can go through his gears. He's got fast hands. He's got good sharp head movement, good feet. So, like, you know, what it is, like, you see if they're amateur and then they turn over. He's already done it. I know what he's like at the rounds.
All right.
With these top fighters. So usually it's the other way around. You know, they of an amateur they turn pro, and then you got to get them used to
got to
pacing
adjust
the rounds.
them. Yeah.
But he's already done that. Now he's had to switch a little bit to the amateur pace. But, you know, he can do either really well.
Looking forward to it. You've also got a new fighter as well. I've seen him on your social media post. Sorry, Max, I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, it's Zach
Please
Evans.
introduce. Okay, Zach Evans.
He's a good fighter. He used to be a kickboxing background. He had a few amateur fights. He had about 20 amateur fights, and he's 10-0 at the minute.
10-0.
Yeah, he's been boxing at super welter, but he'll probably for titles he'll probably do welter. But a real talent, real good talent. He's
That's Conor Ben's weight, isn't it, welter?
yeah. He's fighting in Dubai in February. So at the moment we're just working on him getting it for a title. So he's another one. Zach, he's originally from Cannock. He's got good support, so he's another one to watch out for. He's got a good coach, Mitch. I manage him. He trains over in Dudley. They work together, him and his coach. He's a young coach, so that they're really coming on. And yeah, watch out for him, Zach Evans. Really good fighter.
I'll have to get him on the channel, get to know him as well, and get the viewers to get to know him. Max, I'm going to ask you for some final parting words, some wise words of wisdom from a coach to aspiring fighters or fighters that are out there that feel like they have lost their way a bit, or they're not too sure about where they're going with their career, or they have got that self-doubt. What would you say to a fighter like that?
You just don't give up and believe in yourself. Boxing's a tough game, and there's a lot of highs and lows with it. But like, if you've got the ability in you and the self-belief and the drive, just keep going, stay consistent, and opportunities will come. People will follow you. They see your work ethic. They'll get behind you, and push yourself on social media. You know, they've got to push themselves, show little training clips, show little bits of sparring and that. You know, get people behind you. But it's a good time to be in boxing, so they've just got to stay consistent, believe in themselves.
We love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Max Mccracken, a dear friend of mine. Please get behind him. He's on social media. He's on Instagram. Obviously, he's a trainer for Solomon Dakers. He's a trainer for Matt Williams that's over there in the amateurs at the moment. He's also managing Zach Evans, Matty Harris.
Corey Gibbs.
Yeah. My God, how dare I forget Corey? What's happening with him? I can't go and not say anything about Corey.
Yeah,
sorry, my brain cells. Don't take this the wrong way, Corey.
We're just waiting on I was speaking to someone the other day, actually. There's been like an offer, so we're just waiting to see if it materialises. So Corey might be out again soon.
Good.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to see.
That's it, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Max Mccracken. I'm Abs of October Red. We like to say stay ready. We are proudly sponsored by SA UK, Maximum Security, Minimum Fuss.
Thanks for coming over, Abby. Thanks for your support always with the fighters in the gym. Cheers.
October Red is sponsored by SA Security, Maximum Security, Minimum Fuss.